Good morning to you. Thank you for leaving your dial on the floor of God's State, and welcome to this special interview session. My name is Wisdom Thomas. With the dwindling fortunes of Nigeria's economy come policies of the government perceived to be for the longer term, not least the reduced barrel per day oil production. The place of agriculture in resuscitating Nigeria's economy cannot be overemphasized, whether small scale or large scale. This sector seemed to have been the cash cow of the nation in the past, but has seemingly been relegated in the present. Hence, the creation of Hectare by Hectare Programme, which is going to be the subject of our discussion on this special interview session. Wisdom Thomas is my name, and I have with me in the studio Barrister Chijioke Orji, who is the founder Hectare by Hectare Programme. Good morning to you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you once again.
Good morning.
It's the second time we are having you, right?
Yes, this is the second time.
It's good to have you.
Good morning, all. Good morning.
Okay, let's start off. I'll call it a recap because you've been here before now to lay the foundation of what Hectare by Hectare Program is all about, but I assume there are people who may not have listened the day you came, and for sure the insatiable want of man to make ends meet is inevitable. Hence the need for people to equally try to diversify. Hectare by Hectare Program, what is it all about?
Okay, good morning all. Just like Wisdom said, my name is Chijioke Orji. I'm a lawyer. And most of you may be surprised a lawyer is about to talk about agriculture. But I want to let you know that law is an instrument for development of society. And every lawyer is supposed to be a social engineer. So I'm using my legal knowledge and experience to solve a problem that we have all been encountering, in agriculture and agribusiness. But our core mission, our core objective is to also use it to solve the unemployment problem and, in the process, wealth creation. And, creating a de-risk system that enables all Africans to participate in agriculture and agribusiness and earn money. So I'm happy to be here again. So we're coming to also, complement what the government is doing in a manner that is, that is quite exciting. Everybody benefits, everybody participates, and as we are triggering it off, everybody in this state will feel what we are doing. Because there's an opportunity for everybody.
We'll get to the point where you have to tell us everybody, because everybody is just everybody, ambiguous. And I'm sure during the course of the program you will demystify everybody and put everybody in their place. And remember, it is set to be interactive, so sometime on the program down the line we are going to open the phone lines in case you have questions, you have contributions, and then you want to ask about how to get started. That will be done. I know you've scratched the surface merely. What inspired the program? I mean, it's good to have you, the founder of the program. I don't think any other person can tell the story of how this all began than yourself. What inspired you to try to look away from law and then looking at other ways of impacting the lives of people in the society?
Okay, like I said earlier, every lawyer is supposed to be a social engineer. So I lived in Lagos. My core competence is real estate law. When I say real estate law, it's not agency. Using my legal knowledge to solve the financing problems of real estate. And from Lagos, I lived in Port Harcourt, and I did quite a lot, in real estate. And Abuja is is a city where I live now. Sometime 6.5 years ago, I remembered what my DG in law school, when I was in law school, Chief Ibironke, used to tell us, challenging us, that look, as lawyers, you must use your knowledge for the betterment of society. And I said to myself, I was in Enugu, in my hotel room, I've not really, this real estate one is doing and the law practice, the general law practice, at the end of the day, I don't think I'm making enough impact. I need to use my knowledge to, solve our problem. And agriculture came to my mind because one of the major challenges, with agriculture is the way it's being done. And that perhaps when I solve that problem, when I de-risk it, I can also use it mainly to solve the unemployment problem, which is the core mission that I have, and that is how I started the intellection around the program. And you see, what we have done is to de-risk agriculture by creating the governance system that manages it from bottom to top. And that is what the program is all about, in a way that now allows everybody to participate. And in the course of the conversation, I think I'll throw more light.
I'm sure it looks ambiguous in face value. It must have taken you a lot of time to mull over it, to think and to come up with initiative. And I'm sure you've actually partnered with a lot of reputable bodies to get to the point where it is now close to being launched. What are those bodies or partners you met along the way to making this a reality?
Okay, if you, in the course of developing the legal framework and all the documentations that are required, we've, at some point, we went to make a presentation to the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, which is the sovereign wealth fund. And they actually endorsed. By the time they listened to us, we got an endorsement, a formal endorsement, that this is something that can change the face of agriculture in the country and help the solve the unemployment problem to a very, very large extent. We are working with NAIC, Nigerian Agricultural Insurance, Corporation. You see the role they're playing. They are aggregating all the insurance companies in Nigeria to be able to, participate in this program. In the course of the conversation, I'll tell you the role they're playing. We're partnering with Development Bank of Nigeria. It was actually the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority that recommended us to the Development Bank because they have, cheaper funds. The Development Bank, so by the time we made the presentation, they realized that, yes, this is what, is required. They now brought in, recommended us to the PFIs, what they call the PFIs. The PFIs are the lending banks. So the Development Bank don't lend money directly. They on-lend. They pass it through commercial banks. So we're also partnering with NISAT. NISAT is a certification company, produce certification company. So these are, the institutions. Even the Agri Fund that was just set up, we've also, we are going to work with them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about who can participate vis-a-vis the stakeholders in the value chain of hectare by hectare. If you're just tuning in, it is a special program, and we are discussing Hectare by Hectare program, and I have the founder of that initiative right here in the studio, Barrister Chijioke. Now let's talk about the stakeholders involved in the value chain, and we're going to look at them holistically one after the other. Let's start with the Hectare by Hectare promoter. What is the role of these individuals, and who can we factor into this particular aspect of the program?
Okay, before we go talking about the stakeholders, let me also let the listening audience know there are 5 different schemes in the program.
Okay.
So those schemes we're using to capture, we have the farm estate scheme, which we use to supply industrial off-takers. Industrial off-takers, for instance, any food processing company that requires a lot of raw material, we use the farm estate scheme, to take care of them. The farm estate scheme enables us to get any amount of land from any community, that on a required large scale, is designed in a way that the communities benefit. It creates a lot of employment. Now you have, that is the upstream. Then you have the agro scheme. The agro scheme will develop it to now bring in farmers that are already farming, because people they're already farming. So we develop the agro scheme to bring them in. Under the agro scheme, we develop the warehousing system. We developed the community franchise system that enables us to provide governance to agriculture and agribusiness within communities all over Africa. Now you have the food court scheme, because the basic thing we are trying to do is because the biggest challenge is market. It's not even the farming, it's the market. Anybody who is in agriculture, who's farming, will tell you that their biggest challenge is the market. Not that the consumers are not there, but the market in such a way that they can get fair pricing for what they are producing in an organized manner. Because a few people occupy the space and monopolize it. So because they are the ones you're seeing, anybody in the rural area, that's their challenge. They don't have real access to the market. So you're forced to sell at those people's prices, because some of these things can spoil in your hands. So that's what the agro scheme is solving. Now we have the premium discount scheme, which is basically developed for distribution of all the things that are produced in the either the farm estate, the agro scheme. I had mentioned the food cost scheme as a way of enhancing offtake. We use it to what we're doing in the food courts. If you look at all the vendors that are everywhere, like in Umuahia here, food vendors that are operating, most of them don't have the capacity to have proper real estate to operate. You can say mama put sellers. So under the food cost schemes, we are providing, proper real estate that will enable them, will give you a kitchen free, to sell, to operate, to cook. Your qualification is that you can cook very well. But the raw materials you're going to use is going to come from the farms we're doing under the agro scheme. You see, that way you're creating the market, the offtake. Now, the premium discount scheme is also to enhance distribution. We are using it to bring food directly from the farms to the homes.
Okay.
So, under the premium discount scheme, we are going to have clusters. For instance, in Umuahia here, we're going to have different clusters. Each cluster will have sub-consolidators. So the sub-consolidators are the ones who deliver to their members of their consumer groups. It's a matter of setting up a consumer group on WhatsApp, which people did during COVID. People were ordering things and all that. So we have designed a system that enables that food to come direct from the farms to the homes. That way we are cutting off all that inflated price that is put by the middleman. But that does not mean we are removing the middleman. No. The middleman will do logistics for us. Will also play the role of a produce aggregator. It's just that the pricing is now organized and everybody is still making money. Thank you. So you want me to now deal with the specifics?
Interesting, very interesting.
Okay.
Let's now go down to specifics. And you mentioned hectare by hectare promoter.
Okay.
Who is this person in the value chain?
Well, a promoter is anybody at all who wants to benefit from the program. You register, and promote, just like I'm here to share the vision. That's what you do. But what is interesting is that by the time you register on the app, we'll have an app which you will install on your phone and register. Once you use the app, because you have a special link, a unique link to you once you register as a promoter. You have a unique link, you have a QR code. If you use your link, because this will be mostly young people, they are the ones who understand, Once you use your link to invite anybody to participate in the program, you make a minimum of 25 naira. all the person needs to do is to come to the app. Now, when the person now registers under any category, you also make money whenever he makes any money. So that way, it is bringing in a lot of young people. So this is our way of also introducing them to agriculture. So that is, a promoter, and you don't have to pay to register.
So it's free.
It's free.
That's interesting. Let's look at the hectare by hectare funds aggregator, and what does this other person do? Is it different from a promoter?
Yes, a funds aggregator. You see, because we have the risk agriculture, and agribusiness, so it makes the program very interesting to funders.
Okay.
Who are the funders? Just like I told you, Development Bank, African Development Bank. There's a Development Bank of Nigeria. There's African Development Bank. There are all sorts of funds available looking for, things like this. So if you are in the finance ecosystem, you're a former banker or whatever, and you have access to these low interest funds, and you think you can follow it up based on our template, you are a funds aggregator. So if you go and follow it up, because what we have done is to create an ecosystem. There are 48 different categories. Where like if you look at the internet, is an information superhighway. So this is agriculture and agribusiness superhighway. What we are managing is the back end. So if you come in as a funds aggregator and you can locate any of these funds, you get paid. You earn, from what your services.
So they access the funds and they plunge it into the program.
Yes, for the benefit of participants, especially young people who are playing the role of farm-to-home agents or proxy farmers. So it is not for us; it is for people, to use, to be able to participate in the program.
Okay, let's talk about the local sub-consolidator. You've mentioned that name, and
yes,
for someone out there, the person would be thinking, what does this person do?
Yeah, a local sub-consolidator is anybody, especially if you're a housewife in Umuahia here, you're in your neighborhood, you already have a shop, whether you have a shop or not, you can be that person that is the last mile, that you can begin to supply food to people in your compound, your neighbors, your street. All you need is just to have them on your WhatsApp, group. And once we get a request, once you get a request from them and you send it to the appropriate place, you will be supplied all the food that they require cheaper than what you can buy in the market. And you make 40% of the profit for every supply that is made.
That's interesting.
And this is the supply to you is on credit. So, this is something everybody out there who is looking for something to do, this is it. It's very easy. It's just a matter of having people. You can start from your compound. You can start from your neighbors. It is cheaper than whatever they buy from the market. What is also interesting, there's traceability. We can tell you the woman that processed that palm oil that you're giving to your neighbor. Right now, if you go to the market, you don't know where that palm oil is coming from. We have the phone number of the person who processed that palm oil. It is cheaper what you're buying, and there is quality control, because the quality control is done from the source. So you can't say no to this.
I had wanted to ask, when you said you are getting the food items on credit.
Yes.
And you are placing the appropriate quotas. And
yes.
The appropriate quotas, in parentheses, who are they?
Now, so what we are doing, the last time I came with the president of the Beekeepers Association. Now, he's attending a conference in Abuja as we speak. He would have been here with me. So we are now making sure that honey you're going to get is real. There's honey everywhere. You don't know which one is real. Now, so we're dealing with those beekeepers direct from source. Right? Now, who pays them for the produce that will get to you? The farm-to-home agents, the young people who are in Abia State. So we've created a system where they are earning money from financing those produce that is coming to the consumers. For instance, if we, the sub-consolidators in Umuahia, are requesting about, let's say, 500 bottles of honey. Let's say each bottle is 3,000 naira. And there's a margin of 500 naira on each one, or whatever it is. Now, it is that margin we have created. It is a farm-to-home agent. We're going to publish on the platform that, look, we have request for 300 bottles of honey. Bid to finance it. In 45 days, you get back your capital and the profit, because there will be a margin. You see everything, just like you're bidding for a contract. So that's how the farm-to-home agents make money. So as we are creating the demand within Abia State, we are creating opportunities for everybody. Now, this is a social enterprise. In order, if you look at our concept note, we're also talking about using it for value orientation. You know, the last time I came, I talked about mindset. Yeah. So as we're creating this opportunity for these young people, you can't just bid without what determines how many lots that you get, how many bottles of honey to finance, is how much community service you have done in your community. You see how we are connecting? So that the whole society is really, let's get back to who we are, who we were. Because we are not just, you see, the program is not just like your typical, business of trying to make money. We are using it to solve societal problems. So do you know the volume of contracts we can create for the young people here? Because what we have done is to de-risk, is to, if you like, disrupt the normal way this business is done, and now inject what we have developed in a manner that everybody participates. Because you see, why you're having social problems is that money is not circulating. A few people have a whole lot, the majority are down. So we have found a way to make sure that from the productive system, everybody has something. Everybody makes something. But you must also do something to be able to, gain the benefits.
Okay, let's talk about the off-take aggregator, and I'm pushed to ask, compared to ask, if it is different from the funds aggregator.
Yes.
Are both different?
Yes, totally different. You see, there are, like I said, there are 48 stakeholder groups. It's only a few of the groups, the stakeholders that are on our app. But the others, we will, normally appoint people to play such role. Now, the off-take aggregator is that person who can get transactions from processing companies.
Okay.
If you think you know a food processing company that requires a lot of cassava to process into gari or whatever raw materials, you are the off-take aggregator that can go as a go-between. You see, what we have done is to create a system so people take advantage of it. So you are that off-take aggregator. There are terms and conditions. You make money from it just by connecting that food processor to us. That is an off-take aggregator.
That's interesting. We are going for a very short break. If you are just tuning in, it is Hectare by Hectare Programme. We are discussing this and how it is going to better the lot of the people in the society, especially during this period of economical downturn, and how it as well can boost the economy of not just the state, but even the nation, and putting agriculture back in the heart of production in our nation, where we are not going to become cereal importers who basically thrive in importing basically everything that we require. After the break, we are going to be looking at community franchise promoter. Who is this person? What role does this person play in the scheme of things in terms of Hectare by Hectare program? Stay with us.
Hectare by Hectare, the exceptional game changer. Hectare by Hectare is a unique and innovative agricultural initiative conceptualized and developed as a solution to the major problems usually encountered by stakeholders in agriculture and agribusiness, that is, access to land, technical expertise, finance, and markets. In addition to its core mission of promoting employment, wealth creation, financial inclusion, general public awareness, and value reorientation, it was also developed with a core objective of providing the risked opportunities for all adult Africans to participate and earn money from agriculture and agribusiness under 48 well-defined categories. Join us on Thursday, 10 a.m.
Thank you for leaving your dial on the floor of Godson State. Just to reiterate, it is going to be interactive. I'm sure you have your questions. You equally want to find out how you can get involved. I'm just going to reel out the numbers so you keep that pretty close. And when it's time, just a couple of minutes from now, I'm going to open the phone line so that we can start engaging you in the discussion. I've been speaking with the founder of Hectare by Hectare Programme, who's right here in the studio. I'm talking about Barrister Chijioke Oji. And I told you that when we return from the break, it's going to be community franchise promoter. I mean, for anyone who's been following from the get-go, they will understand that the program is looking at domesticating basically everything from the grassroots top. Where is the place of community franchise promoter in all of this?
Okay, so now if you look at the program, it is for the whole of Africa. So the way it has been designed to capture, because we as a company cannot be running around everywhere. So use franchising. Now for us to get into a country, there's an international franchise company. We'll have the guidelines. Every state within the country has a state franchise company. Abia State already has a state franchise company.
That's interesting.
Every community in Abia State will have a community franchise, cooperative, right? Now, the community franchise promoter is that person that takes the franchise of this program to his or her community. A lot of people are worried about the youth. What do we do? There's so much unemployment. Here is a solution. By taking the franchise of the program to your community, you are going to engage almost everybody. What you have presently, if you look at your community as you're listening to me, you will discover that people are doing agriculture and agribusiness, because you'll be asking, okay, but we are farming and doing all that. But the governance system is lacking. So what we are bringing is a system that now makes it, organized, such that I can stay in Abuja and order produce from that your community. And we have removed the risk of doing that. And I will be guaranteed that that produce will get to me. We have addressed all the issues that can arise, all the contractual lapses, all the issues. Because when I stay in Abuja and order produce from your community, I will probably must have known that person I'm ordering from. Like a lot of people go and buy oil from communities. You have to do it physically. You travel to some locations, buy the oil, store it and all that. We have now made it easy for you not to travel anywhere. You stay in the comfort of your home and do all these things. So it is by setting up the franchise cooperative that can become possible. So we have developed a system of guarantees and indemnities. So if you're a farmer in a community and I have giving you a guarantee to deliver certain volume of produce. There's a system that makes sure that that thing is delivered. It is the governance system. Because if I give you a guarantee, you need to also give me a counter guarantee that the quality control, all those things, you will deliver. Because one of the biggest challenges of the Anchor Borrowers Program, in the course of all these things, I've also been to CBN, is that the farmers were side selling. So when you have an anchor who is a food processor, on whose behalf, a loan is given to the farmer to, agrowers to farm for, when the harvest time comes, those agrowers sometimes sell to other people without selling to that food processor. So if, for instance, you have a rice mill, you have invested a lot of money in setting up that rice mill. So if the people that were supposed to supply you rice paddy now sell to some other trader who just appears just because he's willing to pay more money, you see, you're losing because you have invested and you borrowed money. So these are the things that we have solved. These are the systems we have put in place. So that's why every community, because when you create this system, and it is the elite of the community that can set up this franchise. The last time I came, I told you there's one in my ancestral home, Arachubu. As we speak, there's a franchise cooperative.
And I wanted to ask you, how easy is it for one to create such?
Yes, it's very easy. You're a promoter. It starts from one person who says, look, I want to help solve the unemployment in my community. I want to help organize agriculture in my community. You see, like I said the last time, every sector, there are sectors that government, especially the federal government, has paid attention to. Look at the oil and gas. They've taken time to design policies, guidelines, and everything. With the result that I can get a piece of paper. I'll just have a document signed for me. That document becomes bankable. That's what we have done here. So you can sit in the comfort of your home. See, we've created a situation where people can now invest in agriculture. I went to a community and they told me that they produce the best garin in Abia State here. But I challenged the elite. Yes, your gari is good, but you are allowing the farming to be done by the poor people. You're not investing in it. It is when those who have more resources invest in agriculture, support those ordinary people that are farming, you will see they will have more capacity to farm.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of land here. I had a meeting in a community yesterday. There's so much land, so much capacity to grow rice. But they don't have the capacity to open up the vast area. So, but our system.
So this is what the system will have.
Yes. Because we de-risk the system to such that people can now invest money in it.
Okay, let's talk about the proxy farmer. This is very interesting. A situation where I can own a farm lot and I've not used it. I may not even have to get into it, but I'm still farming. Tell us more
Precisely.
about that.
So the proxy farmer is a system we developed under the farm estate scheme. So what inspired it is a practice that have always taken place in this society, most African societies, communities. You see, if you want to solve a problem, look at what the people are used to. So what I have done is to, inspired by what has always taken place, to now, create the legal framework around it. So what it is that all the people in Abia State here, doing your business as you're here, working here, you can own a farm lot within a farm estate. Because what we do, we start from the offtake, which is the market. Like I said, the biggest challenge is the market. So we have, as I'm speaking with you now, we're about to conclude with Coconut Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria to farm coconut in Abia State on a huge scale. If you know the things that come out, the derivative of coconut is so huge. So now, what it will mean is that there will be a farm estate. We'll have to, get the land, partition it into an estate, just like a housing estate. The difference is that it is now farm lots. Now, when we do the calculation of what it will cost to farm one lot, let us say it is 500,000 or 1 million. The major cost is land clearing most of the time. We'll do proper planning, do topographic survey, because you need to, do topographic survey that can show you the level of the land. Because a lot of people just farm blindly. You just go and clear the land and start farming. So your water circulation may not work because of gradients and all that. So when we do all that, we will bring it to proxy farmers and tell you that, look, if you invest 1 million naira, for instance, this is how much you're going to make per harvest. You're going to be making 50% of the profit. The community will give you a farming right. Whether it is a community or whether it's government, you have a farming right for a number of years. Which means, assuming you have a farming right over 10 years, each time there's a harvest, you're making 50% of the profit. But what is so exciting about this is that your 1 million naira will remain in your account, your savings account. You don't need to give it to us. All we are doing is to now use it, leverage it, to now raise cheap money from development bank to farm for you. So the money is sitting in your account. You're seeing it. And it is the proceeds of the farming that pays back the loan that has been taken on your behalf. In fact, for civil servants here in Abia State, it's even more interesting. Because if you're a civil servant and you decide to take one lot, you may say, please, my own contribution, deduct 10,000 from my salary every month. All we need is some kind of guarantee from the government. So this is wealth creation. This is additional income. We will raise money for you and farm for you. So this is extra income. And if you recall, the only business that civil servants are allowed to do is farming. So that is a proxy farmer. And what happens is that everybody benefits. The community where the land, the host community, gets 5% of the gross income for the land, gets 5% of the profit as community development fee. Because you may go there and discover that not all the families in the community are part of the land ownership. The youth as security fee get 2.5% of profit. So the proxy farmer gets 50% of profit. We are working with civil defense. They get 2.5% of the profit. Now, the resident farmer, who is also a youth in the community, sometimes the community may not even have enough, youths. Other youths will come from other communities. Gets 10% of the profit for the 5 farm lots you will manage. A resident farmer, by our policy, manages 5 farm lots. You make sure that those farm lots, which will be 5 hectares, nothing happens there. The weeding, everything about it. And when there's a harvest and, there's an inflow of money, because the money, the off-taker pays direct to the bank. The bank already has a schedule to distribute to everybody. You are getting 10% for each farm lot.
I think we have actually covered about 80% of what we have to bring your way now, and we can now start taking your calls while we continue. Get involved, 0818-269949 or 0811-605-2949. Hectare by Hectare Programme is what we have been discussing since the commencement of the program. And we are willing to start taking your contributions now. While I keep my eyes on the phone lines, let's look at the food vendor. Is it almost the same thing that we know of? Is it a different concept, food vendor in the value chain?
Yeah, a food vendor is anybody who has a restaurant or off-site.
Okay, I thought it was going to be different.
Yes, you do, catering and all that. What do we do for you? We can supply you raw materials far cheaper than whatever you're getting now.
Apologies, the phone lines are buzzing. Let's start taking
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Mr. Wisdom, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good.
Go ahead, please.
I'm interested in the program and what you are discussing. and I live in a rural community, not far away from Umuahia. How can I get in touch with your guest so that I get used to him? No longer the phone program calling. I can come and meet him. We discuss one-to-one. This is my own because
all right, thank you very much. Just keep listening.
We've been trying. When I talk of Anchor Borough, I've done my best through the Ministry of Agriculture. You know, they work. Even government owners have those. But this is a barrister who is registering and knows the risk. Everything you want to do, venture is taking risk. My name is Chinedu Obuji from Umuahia.
Thank you very much for your contribution. He's going to respond to that.
Okay, so all you need to do is to send a WhatsApp message to this number that I'm going to call. 080-22-680-636. Just send a WhatsApp message and let us know the area you're interested in. 080-22-68-0636. Only WhatsApp, please. Thank you.
Let's take another call. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Thank you.
Good morning, our visitor there.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Papa Boy. Papa Boy from Obodini Bonomo Paroma, South Asia. Yes, I'm hearing what you are saying. One of the problems that hinders farmers' progress in some of the communities is road network. What do you say, what advice do you have for that network problem here? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your question. Okay. He will surely respond. He raised the concern of road network.
Okay, well, the road network is a government thing, but like I said, if we create a system, if we bring our system to your community, we'll still find a way. What is important is that whatever you're farming is already, most of what you're going to farm is already paid for. That's what we are bringing. Because fair pricing, the two things, fair pricing, will make sure that you get, fair pricing for whatever you're producing. And our business is to get you market for what you're producing. The road network, I believe that that is what government has to address, and I am happy that your state government here is doing very well. What we are coming is to complement what they are doing, to support.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wisdom.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Umuahia, and I'm calling from Umuahia.
Okay, Umuahia, go ahead, please.
My question is, what are processing the coconut in?
Pardon?
Hello?
Pardon? Can you reiterate what you said?
What?
Please call back 0808182694 or 0811605249. Good morning.
Please, I'm the first caller.
Okay.
I'm not on WhatsApp, but I'm trying to get to WhatsApp. That I'm talking. I'll tell the man the address. I am not. My name is Chinedu.
Let him send his number.
Not far away.
Okay. Send your number
I'm yet to get to WhatsApp. I'm not ready.
Send your number to our SMS line 090.
This number I'm using is my number.
We can't see your number. The system we use can't display your number, but when you send us a text,
Flo-Fm. If you want me to come there, I'll be there.
Okay, that's not a problem. Thank you. All right, let's move on. The phone lines are getting busier, and
Yes, I was talking about a food vendor.
Yeah.
So what do we do for a food vendor? We will give you produce cheaper than whatever you're buying it now,
and it is coming from the
direct from the farm. Quality is there. You can trace it. Now, what is even more exciting? We'll give you a 40 days credit.
What do you mean by 40?
That is, you have 40 days to pay.
Okay.
So you're even using what you have, use it to prepare what you're going to use to pay. Why are we doing that? We're also creating opportunity for the farm-to-home agents. They are the ones financing it, so that they can earn some income.
Let's take another call. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? If you don't mind, speak up a little bit.
I'm good. I say good morning.
Good morning. This is better now. Go ahead.
Okay, I've been listening to your program since so I'm more interested. I'm getting interested. So my first one is how can I get
Call back 080818269949. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
The last number, get 080-22681. What's the other last number? 080-22681.
Okay,
Hello?
he will call it again. He's going to call the number again. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, just listen up. Listen. He's going
Okay,
to call
080 22 680 636. 080 22 680 636.
Okay, well, we're open to further questions and contributions on the program Hectare by Hectare Programme, an initiative of Barrister OJ here in the studio. Diaspora Sub-Coordinator, and I can remember Sub-Consolidator. I can remember vividly when you talked about the local Sub-Consolidator. What's the difference? Is it just the diaspora there? What's the range? Do I need to be in the USA or do I need to be in Africa? Is it only for those in Africa?
Okay, now the Diaspora Sub-Consolidator is also doing, these are Africans in diaspora.
Okay.
So exactly what the local Sub-Consolidator is doing here is what they are doing over there, wherever you are in the world. Because our intention is to supply food to our people in diaspora, cheaper than whatever they're buying out there. Because this is coming directly from the farms. The same model. They will have to pre-order. So it is also a way of boosting, the farming activities going on in the rural areas. Because that's where these things are coming from. But the difference is that these things are properly, because of the quality control we are bringing, they're properly, delivered in a way that the authorities over there do not have any problem. As I speak with you now, we have some goods that are already being shipped. We have, Gary that is being produced in Obobra that we are shipping to America, even has American FDA certification.
Interesting.
So it is the quality control. These are the things we are bringing. So if you're a processor, you must have a NAFDAC registration. Our business is to bring quality, and so that, people know what they are consuming.
Phone line still buzzing 080818269949 or 081160529949. We are live on Facebook, facebook.com/Flo949FM. Good morning and thank you for joining us. The network is iffy 080818269949 or 081160529949. Farm to home agent.
Okay. In the course of the conversation, I've been touching farm to home agent. These are mostly young people. Like I said, we are creating a lot of opportunities for them. In fact, when we are doing a farm estate, even the input supply is done by them. All the inputs that will be used to do the farming. Yeah. So we deliberately create contracts for them. The whole idea is, like I said, not to leave anybody behind. Let everybody be involved in agriculture. It's either you're farming directly, these farm to home agents, if you're in the rural area, you can also be a resident farmer by actually farming. If you're in the urban area, you're part of the supply system.
Send us a text because we're having challenges in terms of the network, and you can equally send us a message on 09065108289, 09065108289. Good morning.
Good morning, Wisdom.
Thank you. Name and location.
My name is Stephen, calling from Yalang.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
I don't want to say much. My question is, how can I get in touch with this company? Or how will I get in touch?
Okay. Port of contact. Just keep listening, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's continue. You were saying something before you go ahead.
Yes, so I said we don't want to leave everybody behind. This program will get everybody involved. It's either you're directly in a community you're farming, or you want to do logistics, or you want to do warehousing, you want to be a produce farmer, you want to be a sub-consolidator, you want to be an off-take, any role you want to play. There are 48 different roles. What we have done is to create the governance system. In a way, I had a meeting, I had a program with IFAD. I think it was in Abia here. Yes, it was in Abia here. I did we had a meeting, the regional. So one of the challenges they have is this same offtake and market contracts. So somebody says, I'm interested in buying the fish you're producing. But when it gets to the time of delivery, the person reneges what you discussed.
For another person.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't even conform to this. So these are the things we are solving. So like I said, law is an instrument for development of society. That's why human beings are guided by law. Even in your community, all those rules, if you violate, do certain things, you're held. So because people are farming, nobody has taken time to connect. Okay, if you're farming, how does an off-taker take it? What will happen if there's a shortfall in what has been, all those issues is what we have taken care of.
Okay, I have two more questions, but I'm going to munch them into one and let you respond. We are almost close to closure. For someone to get involved, how can they go about it? That's one. Two, does Hectare by Hectare program have offices across the state and the nation? Are there points of contact for those who would want to simply meet those behind the program?
Okay, so first of all, like I said, the number to reach is 080-226-80636. 080-226-80636. You can send by WhatsApp or SMS. You don't need to call because the number is very, very busy. Now, the offices are the franchise offices. So now that we're actioning, at the right time, you will see a franchise office in Umuahia here. Now, in every state, to have a logistics partner. So you will also see a logistic partner here in Abia, established and running.
Okay, interesting. Let's get your final take now, because I'm sure with the level of reaction we've had, there are so many people who are interested, and we can't rule out that there are those who are having a bit of doubt. How can I get involved? How lucrative is it going to be? What do you have to tell this class of people?
Well, what I will tell you is that I believe that nobody has ever seen God. God walks through human beings. This is my own way of bringing something for the development of our nation and our people. And what is interesting about what we're doing, we're not asking anybody to pay any upfront money. Like if you want to be a produce farmer, you're not paying us any money. So that will also show you how genuine that the program is. If you go through, take our number and reach us, you will get more insight on how it works. What we are doing is de-risking agriculture and getting everybody involved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Quite an insightful discussion from the get-go to this particular point where we are going to drop the anchor. Thank you, Barrister Chijuke Oji. He's the Hectare by Hectare founder. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
We look forward to further conversations as the program progresses. And thank you for being a part of it, calling via our feedback platforms. But we make a return, same time, same station. Have an amazing day ahead.